Yes, welcome. Once again, I forgot what button to press to say hi to everyone. It is another week of Blender Today, this weekly meeting where we just get together and see what's new in the Blender world, which is a lot. I think I mentioned the 279A release since like forever. It's still not out. Tomorrow, I hope. But everything is set up basically. What else? Blender 2.8 has some new stuff, a new node, the principal volume shader, which is that's a new shader. That's basically like the principal the regular BSDF shader. That concept of having everything in one node, well, but brought into the volume part of the shaders. And it's available for both Cycles and Eevee. How, like, we live in the future. There is a new feature and bam, it's in both render engines, both the best Blender engines, not a render engine. That's bad. Anyway, we are live, so let me know if I messed up with anything besides not being able to click in the right button when I say hi, and also leave your comments so we can answer them, and then we can see everything here live as it happens. So it's been a week since last time. There, of course, this is Monday. It's done on Monday, so there are updates. There is the developers meeting that we can start reading. I think the other one that this week in Blender is still not updated for this week, but we can read the other ones, and we can read on the comments. Where are you watching this from? Where are you, people? I'm gonna share the screen here, and then I put Blender Today there so you see what is Blender Today. Well, Blender Today is a community for sharing anything, basically any kind of news or a tutorial that you made, or artwork as well. So this is where we get together, and this is how this thing came to life. There's also a chat in blender.chat, so if you wanna hang out and get real-time interaction with other Blender heads, you can join here. There's also a support channel that is pretty active. It's in blender.chat. But we are not here to talk about chat, we're here to chat. So Norway, Germany, Malaysia, Ukraine, Liverpool, Poland, Barcelona. Oh, that's awesome. Florida, USA, Mexico. In Spanish, I'm gonna make another video like this in 2 hours in another channel, in my channel, the one that shows up here. But we're in Blender Today. So what's happened? The final release will happen by Wednesday. Wednesday? Why? It's ready since like Friday. Anyway, I heard that the Mac installer this time is gonna look amazing. There is some graphics done there, so not only the Windows installer will be pretty-ish, but the Mac as well. Linux, we are left over. Snowy Russia, Frankfurt. It might snow here in Amsterdam. It's very cold, I hope, because winter is just cold. That is not doesn't make any sense. Hi, what software are you using for Blender UI, or you just hard-coded straight? What do you mean, Andrei Grigorita? Do you mean the Blender itself? The Blender UI is a layout that, of course, is made with C, with regular code, but the presentation, the way you arrange the buttons and everything, is done with Python. So it's a here. Oops. Oh, no, compile. I just compiled 2.8. Yeah, this is my terminal. This is what I opened half an hour before this live stream, and I compiled the latest. And it's the best moment because the computer gets very slow, so at the same time I have to test other stuff. But anyway, the UI, all the buttons that you see here, they are all in they're defined in Python. If you mean the other UI, the one in ui.pablovasquez.art, this guy, this is HTML. This is pure HTML. It's a website basically with CSS, HTML, and this is my attempt at making mockups. I think the mockups in the made in GIMP or Photoshop or whatever, they're a bit static and they are hard to change, right? If you don't have the source file, they're not the best to change. So if you make them in HTML, something that everybody is pretty familiar with it, and CSS and JavaScript for small actions and stuff, then it might be fun for other people to join, and then everybody can join and make their own version of the mockup, which is great. 279A, Talai Felinto, developer from Brazil, says, by Wednesday is my way of saying that it was promised to Tuesday, Wednesday. Just playing safe. Yep, it's basically playing safe. The release is ready for a while now. Blender 279 proved to be very stable, and the 279A is only gonna make it more stable. So I don't know if that answered the UI question that you had, Andre. Okay, it answered it. Okay, so yeah, I answered actually both. The one is in Python and this one is in HTML. It's in ui.pablovasquez.art. Yes, UI is art as well. And that's where I put my own mockups. There is nothing official there. If you see something there, oh no, it sucks, it's because if it sucks, it's because I made it, not because it's gonna be in Blender. It's gonna suck for everybody else. It's a test basically, and hopefully we can take some of these ideas and improve them and make them even better. There is a nice task that was defined recently in developer.blender.org, and regarding the settings or user preferences. I can't find it anyway, but there is a new task that is tackling some of the design problems that happen in the user preferences. Basically this mess of preferences, of settings that we have right now. We're Julian Severin, he is proposing a change in this, because did you know that this UI, the changing of the buttons like this, is coming from Blender 2.27. In 2.26, let's be for some Blender 2.27. There is a thread actually in here, images, this one. So this is Blender 180, but the UI, like all the settings were like this. They were all flat in one part of Blender. You had to drop down from Blender from the top, and then you will get this. But yes, the UI has been like that until here. This is 2.26, I think. Yes, 2.26 was the last version that had this weirdo, and then 2.27, the future. Dun, 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 the split in these weird tabs. There were no tabs back then, but it's amazing to believe that this UI went from 2.27 all the way to 2.8. So it's about time to change it. Why Blender on Linux? Do not ask me if I don't want to save my project, because Blender saves your project anyway. Don't believe what your what the people say there. Every time you quit Blender, your project is saved. It's automatically saved by Blender in /tmp, and there is a file called quit.blend, which is the it's the file that you were working on. So for example, if I make a bunch of Susans here, and then I quit, and then I open Blender again, oh no, I lost it. No, fear no more, it's saved. People keep complaining that Blender doesn't ask you to save. It's because it saves anyway. Anyway, besides that, there was besides this mini rant, there is a work in progress about there's a task in Fabricator that talks about the this problem that the save for the last save, if it's not saved, basically the pop-up, how to implement it in Linux, because the other Windows and Mac, they have their own internal way of doing it, but Linux doesn't. So yeah, a way to implement it. What else? You can use the menu to open the Quit the Blend. Urchin, that's Bassam. Hi Bassam. Sam Kurdali, director of the first ever open movie project, and Tube, and awesome, and everything. What else? Am I missing any question? If you want to ask a question directly, you can add me at Blender today, so it shows in orange and then I don't miss it. Let's continue. A bit of history here, a bit of blah blah. File recovered last session. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, next. What's new in Blender? Well, let's continue. Let's wrap up the developer meeting notes. The campaign is doing well. Actually, the campaign for CodeQuest is doing amazing. It's doing, like, let's see. I made some graphics last week. This one was also pretty fun to make. Let's go back here, down here. Thank you to all the sponsors. And 1,824 rockets sold. That's amazing. Like, we were wondering if we will reach 1,000. Now we're 1,800. That's amazing. But hurry up, because in 2 days, yes, in 2 days there will be it's the end of the discount. So it's if it's 34 right now, it's gonna be 44, and then yeah, that will make it more expensive. So if you order it now and then you can have it, you can keep it on your desk as your token of appreciation. Julian Eisel, hey, developers, their developers are popping in. Halfway to the moon. Yes, I got a bit carried away with the with the drawings every time. I think for 2000, what do you suggest me to do for when we reach 2000, when there's the last 500? I don't know, thinking of the colors changing, or let's make it a community project. All right, enough sidetracking. Cheers, everyone. Unless notified, otherwise the code quest will start April 9th, with most of the team arriving a week before. Campbell arrives in like 2 weeks. That's amazing. 3 weeks maybe. Yes, 2-3 weeks. And it's gonna be hanging out at the Blender Institute before the rest of the team arrives. Brecht on March 30. That's awesome. And then a bit later, the rest of the team. That's amazing. These live streams will become a bit more interesting. There will be a lot more to talk about. Then Eevee multi-window. Actually, that I heard, a little bird told me, a little Brazilian bird told me that the multi-window support is coming and it's already implemented, basically. Let's see, what does he mean? I haven't even tested this. I'm not ready for this. New window. Is it what it means? This is, I mean, I'm not saying it's not exciting, but this is, holy, wow. Okay, this is exciting. This is 2 windows of the same Blender, and let's load something complicated. Let's break Blender. Yay. Okay, it already opened 1 window. That's cool, because the file was saved with 1 window. It's not that it crashed or anything. Maybe if I loaded without the load UI, would it work? When the release of 2.8? The idea is to release a beta in August for SIGGRAPH. That's the whole idea. The beta release, something you can use, but it's still not like final. All right, new window. Let's see. I have 2 windows open. What I can play in both? I don't have enough screen to fit both windows. What happens if I just move things around? It works. Wow. Okay, that's pretty neat. What if I'm animating here and here, I just opened this file, by the way, by Daniel Weisted. It's not mine. It's an awesome demo of CSS, actually, which we can connect if we plug this guy here. Am I gonna crash Blender? I'm hoping to crash Blender at some point, because it's really... This is not meant to work so early. The code quest is already happening. Let's try to sculpt as it's rotating and animating. Am I pushing it? Yes, maybe. Let's see. Grab. I want to see it working, actually. It's not moving. Nah. What can I do? Tell me I'm gonna break this. Rocket should leave the engine in 2K and have only the center part of the rocket to move forward. Of course, it drops. It enters the second, third stage by this point. Third stage, so it drops the engine. It just leaves the capsule. That's a great idea, Dalai. When it will be improved in some way when it comes to working with dual screens. Your Gen Z. You see it working. This is the same Blender. Is running 2 instances, 2 windows, and it just works. So I would say the answer is yes. That is amazing. All right. What else? What's new? Oh, the principal shader. I can explain that. I can show that. I'm gonna close it while it's animating, and it stopped the animation because I started the animation in the other one. Let's make a new window. Wait, no, wait, new window. And I can choose the views. Okay. So that if you click to focus, you don't have to click an extra time once you choose window. Well, I have sloppy focus here. I like the sloppy focus, the name. For example, my window manager is set up so when I mouse over a different area, I can... It works. So basically I can just scroll. I don't have to. I'm not clicking here in different parts of the different windows. So yeah. Will mouse pointer make the window active while hovering? I guess that's left to your window manager. What is better for Blender, Linux, Windows, or Mac? Linux, without a doubt. It's faster to render, faster to open, and yeah, it's worth. If you're used to like Windows, or you have to use Windows because of work or because of you like games or something, maybe you should consider having a different a dual boot. Have Windows for your Windows stuff, and then have Linux for hardcore 3D stuff, because it's gonna be better. It's gonna be more efficient. Let's see. I will close this. I will... However, in Windows at least, it's a pain having 2. Never mind, you just answer amazing. Okay, yeah. Yeah, but Windows is a pain in other senses. I'm not gonna trash Windows, of course, it's just personal opinion, but it's just more efficient. I've been using this laptop. I bought it and it came with Windows 10, and it's a new laptop. It's from last year, but still, when I open Blender there, it's like depressing how long it takes. It's like 4 or 5 times longer, and overall the RAM management is not the best, and then you don't know if the antivirus is running at the same time, and yeah, not gonna complain here. Alright, let's go back to object mode. Whoa! Oh my, the changes that I did, of course, they were happening in edit mode, so when I went to object mode, is that when they copied? Maybe if I enable the copy on write? No, that would mean I'm gonna crash Blender forever. It's not gonna open. Next, the principal shader. So if we start over, the principled shader, the principled volume shader actually, is just as simple as setting up the other shader. There's nothing, it's not gonna look better per se, it's just gonna be easier to set up. So this new shader is new node. It's by default in the both Eevee and in cycles. So right now by default Blender adds a principal BSDF, this tiny node here, and you can connect. In this case I'm gonna disconnect the surface, but you can have both, because the principal volume, this new node, is it connects to the volume itself. So once you connect it, nothing happens. Let's go to cycles. Bam, cycles renders it, because cycles doesn't have like volume rendering disabled by default. Eevee does, because it's meant for real time, so in order to make things better and not suffer your computer so much by like just default, it's off. So if you enable it in the render settings, remember to select your render engine, your scene render engine. We need to start using those terms. There is the viewport engine, the workspace engine, the one that your workspace is using, is the workspace, the whole Blender window. And in the workspace settings here, the ones with the render layer icon for the time being, has the workspace, and then you can choose which engine you can use for the workspace. It's the same the same selector basically that you have here on the top. So if I set the viewport as cycles, then it changes as cycles. But I'm gonna say my viewport in the future, I guess everybody will have like the workspace as Eevee, or some sort of maybe the workbench engine, which is a engine for, it's like a super solid mode in Blender 2.7. You have the solid mode, which is just basic OpenGL, just rendering your objects with basic colors. While the workbench engine is gonna be that super fast, easy to see, but maybe with some of the features from Eevee that are useful. For example, a shadow. It's a bit of a luxury, yes, but it helps to see your object, how is it touching the floor, or ambient occlusion, or cavity shaders, or that kind of stuff, or a grid, or a reflection. Some fancy viewports do that nowadays. They have like an auto reflection or something. Anyway, I got sidetracked. Let's go to render. Let's enable volumetrics. Boom, done. That was easy. It looks really ugly when you move it, but then you let it simmer and then it works. Let's see. So yeah, basically that's it. That's bam, basta. Now the principal volume shader node has all the options that you have scattered all over the place in the regular when you build your shaders. Basically, many of these shaders, for example, the volume absorption, volume scatter. Then if you want to make fire, for example, you're gonna use a fire color, for example, and for that you're gonna add a black body, for example, just to get the right temperature of the fire, for example. And then if you need get the fire density coming from the simulation, then you're gonna use an attribute, right? So you're gonna set the attribute, like for example density, with these really obscure ways of Blender to call this. And then you need another one maybe for temperature. And then you end up with a bunch of nodes just to make one thing. The goal of this new node of the principal volume shader is to have everything in one handy device. Squeaky clean. If you understood that reference, it means you're a hardcore Blender head. Let's see. Let's see if I can answer some questions before continuing. I already answered this. And is there any way to enable onion skin type effect in 3D view? Onion skinning, well, you can enable it in the armature, I think, and in Grease Pencil has also onion skinning. But in 3D it will be amazing, and that's one of the goals. That's one of the amazing things that that Eevee can make happen, because Eevee, it's a new engine and it has well, many features, but one of them is that also it could have like a compositing layers on one on top of each other, and then you can have effects. You can have I don't know, like GLSL shaders applied to it, and then have a special effect only on a copy of your data, so you're not messing with your actual data. You can apply overrides, for example, and then affect how the whole layer looks, view layer looks. So if you're an animator and you want to see the silhouette, for example, it should be pretty simple to add a override, or maybe Blender could come with these preset overrides that could affect that. It could have silhouettes, it could have onion skinning, it could have anything basically. Principal shader is my new love. Nice, congratulations on your new love. Any new Grease Pencil news? Yes, there are plenty of news, and I don't know if you have seen the Blender Cloud recently, but Hero has some amazing render tests. Development videos? Nope. Videos? Yes. So it has some pretty amazing stuff going on. Let me see if I can mute this. Yes. Oops. Let's see. It's awesome. And one more. This one. When it comes landing with the awesome boots. If I show you, that would be amazing, right? And just watching them for myself. Okay, now I show you again. I was showing you, but I forgot to share the screen. Sorry. It's awesome. This is all work in progress. It's nothing. It's far from finished. This is still missing like a cleanups and some compositing effects, and it's all a work in progress. But it's so crazy to think that this is Blender basically. This is coming from our beloved Blender. That's amazing. All right, enough drooling over. That's amazing. Okay, next. Last step that's stopping me to switch from Windows to Linux is the Creative Cloud. I tried Blender on Ubuntu. It's a lot faster. Yeah, I think any Linux distribution will work. I would recommend you to use Ubuntu or any flavor of Ubuntu, because it's there's a lot of, if you need help with getting something to work or the tablet or something, there is a lot of help there. So I would recommend you to use it. Actually, I use it myself. I've been using Linux in 2006 for 12 years. And I still use Ubuntu. I didn't move to the more hardcore ones, because I prefer convenience and something that works without me having to spend a lot of time in it. What is next? More questions. I like the interface in Blender. Will it change much? No, it won't change much. Blender is Blender. Blender will be Blender. Is Blender, and it will keep being Blender. We'll be able to turn off viewport render mode in 2.8, Shift said in 2.79. Yes, that is of course something that has to happen. That is still not there. And for those who don't understand, is that if you change the workspace to cycles, to preview, so this is cycles. Nowadays it's hard to tell the difference, right? No, yeah, trust me, this is cycles. It's hard to, let's open another file. Now that is fine. It's hard to imagine how no, it can't. You just can't have a viewport constantly rendering cycles. It's impossible. It works if you have a cube, but you don't want your computer to be constantly rendering Maybe in 5-10 years when computers are supercomputers and we have flying cars and hoverboards, yes, maybe, but not before. It's not implemented right now, and even was contemplated to not have it at all, but really you need it. Yeah, it's important. If you work with big files, with simulation files and objects and data and coming from the network and loading in your RAM, you don't want it to be constantly rendering. So yeah, that has to change basically. Let's see. Time to bribe Allegorith. And what is going to happen to Blender render? Will it be phased out? That's the idea, unfortunately. Blender, I think once Eevee is completely on par to, or even superior, actually in some areas it will be superior than Blender render, then I think it's a good moment to move on, to say goodbye to Blender render. It's amazing especially for what is NPR, for non-photorealistic rendering. Blender render is amazing. It's so good, and it's rock stable. It's been used since the 90s, literally. So it's a working system. It just works. So it will be very tough for Eevee to replace that. But yeah, that will be one of the reasons to do it. Any tips to make Eevee look as sharp as Cycles? Maybe I'm applying textures incorrectly. Well, I mean, it won't ever be as sharp, I think, right? Because the way, I don't know how the interpolation of textures works in Eevee right now. Let's see. Equirectangular camera in Eevee. Well. Is Dalai Felinto looking this? Hey, Dalai, are you here? He developed it. He made the fish eye, for example, so maybe he has more insight in this. But I bet, yes, if you want to do I don't know, some sort of VR or some 360, you have to. And it's possible. Right? Yes, please. Using Blender running on Linux, put it from a pen drive. Would be as good from SSD? No. No, well, it's not gonna be as good, I think. I mean, once you run Blender, it's in your memory, so it should be fast. But still, you don't want to. Just put it on your SSD. Launching, of course, will be much slower. Any news on the M keyboard shortcut in object mode? No, not that I know. What Gen Z is referring to is the ability to move objects with M, to press the M and move it to another collection, just to replace the old move to layer operators. So for example, let's see, if you layer, so if you have more than one collection and then you want to move this object to another collection, yes, no, you can't now. You can drag and drop, yes, or you can just select the object and then right click in the collection and then add selected, and then it will be added there. But ideally you could just press M, or you can right click and then collection, move to collection, and then it will basically open a like a list of collections, like this one for example, to edit, to link a new collection, and then you could select, or maybe you could even show this by default and then have a button to make new, so you can make a new collection directly from here. But no, it's not implemented yet. Let's answer more questions. Will Blender 2.8 have advanced unit system like most CAD software? Well, Blender 2.8 is gonna go on for a while. Remember what happened in Blender previous versions? If you remember what happened in features, now I want the previous features and download. What's new in release notes? There you go, release notes. If you remember in 2.5, there was a 2. Alpha 0, alpha 1, alpha 2, beta, beta 2, beta 3, beta 4, and then the first version was finally 257 with the splash that said 2.5. But yeah, that's what happened in Blender 2.5, and 2.8 is expected to be similar. I think maybe not, maybe things have changed, and 280 will be the first official release. I think that's more likely to happen. So yeah, 281, 282, 283. It will be all stabilizing Blender, but I think there is a chance they could add these features. Would it be possible to have key bindings to change the render engine? Yes, definitely. Yeah. Like Shiv said, can you change the render engine from Python? Like view render engine? Yeah, maybe. Like data. What is it? Is it a UI data workspace the default? Yeah, of course. There must be. Render. Toggle render shading still there, but it doesn't do anything. Yeah, definitely. Will Eevee be capable of VIA's NPR features? That's the idea, that they match. How will we do toon shading, NPR shading in 2.8 if VIA is going away? Well, that's the same answer. The idea is that they match, that the internal render only goes away if and only if the whole feature requirements are met. Same. Is it clear at this point that what is not going to work anymore from previous versions in 2.8? For example, if you have 279 with file drivers baked simulation. Hola, Nicolás. Well, I don't know. Animations, no, it should work just fine. The thing is the dependency graph. I wouldn't say like maybe the particle system. Maybe that's not gonna work one-on-one. That's a big one. But yeah, actually most of the things should work, I think. Let's see. Oh, Dalai answered. I'm here. I tried to talk Clement into implementing it, but it's hard. It's doable, quite doable. That is for equirectangular rendering on Eevee. We could even have real-time fisheye in the viewport with Eevee. Yes, we could. Couldn't we? Yes. Let's see. Nice competition. Thank you, Dinner. So many details. Yes, I've been I have actually, that poster is Russian. Then this guy here, you know it, is Coral. Then there is the book. Put it as an advertisement. It's the art book. It's blurry, so it's like not really an advertisement, but yes. Renderman, Cap, Batman, and there is a crying Coral that I need to paint. It's 3D printed. Andy Golachik printed it for me. So nice. Even sculpted all the hair and everything. But I still have to paint it. I don't have no idea how to paint. So if you have seen this video up until now and you have any recommendations how to paint a 3D printed object, that would be awesome. Speaking for the planetarium community, real fish time would be amazing. Yes, I've been to the planetarium here in Amsterdam on this weekend on Saturday, and it was amazing. Magic Blender Eevee in there would be awesome. All right, what else? Workspace UI filtering is also ready. Really? Okay. Yes, and we are going to, yes, this is another news, that we are going to prepare a blog post together with the Life Elinto about all that's new in Blender, just to stay up to date with everything. A richly illustrated blog. That means I don't have to work a lot on the graphics, yes. With the current state of Blender 2.8. It should be out in early March, yes. We need more mentors for Summer of Code. Yes, the Summer of Code started, but we need mentors. So contact Ton at blender.org if you are interested in it. And then yeah, you should check out, actually March 12th submission for the student starts with reviewing period until the first week of April. So March 12th, that is in no time actually. Yes, you should if you're a student, apply. Then there is, well, this I don't think I should show it right now. It's there, still in beta, should be officially open soon. It's the Onboarding Forum, basically a forum for developers or wannabe developers or people interested in actually discussing with the developers some ways to becoming, right, a developer. Onboarding, that's the word. Module ownership to be updated on the wiki. Yes. Grease pencil owners should be the developers, Antonio. Yes. Yeah, we haven't updated that. But it's the wiki. We need to update the whole wiki anyway. Alright. I think I'm done with this. There is the What's New in Blender, which I already talked about. They still haven't updated with the latest and greatest. But these are the news from last week. Basically, the twist that I showed in previously is for hair. Hair is finally getting some love. The twist at the end of the strands and at the beginning of the strands was implemented. Then the Fermi support was dropped for cycles. So that means that all graphics cards with SM2021, I think, they were not supported anymore. So I had a 460 in my previous laptop and that's not supported anymore. A GTX 460 CUDA. And I think that's it. Then UI mockups, yes. I already covered everything. Am I missing anything? No. I think we can wrap this up. We already been we covered everything in the development. Yes. Blender 2.8. Yes. I wanted to show the file of the quest, and let's see. So I got this file and I should open it actually in master because I tried to make it in Blender 2.8 bin, or actually I can just try and open it in Blender 2.8. Let's see how it breaks. I mean, I'm only sharing live this, so it's okay. I'm not sure how this is gonna look. This is a file from the CodeQuest graphics, which I am now opening for the first time in Eevee. So, okay, it's not as terrible as I was thinking. These objects, if only I could hide these objects. Let's see. It's not that terrible. It's okay. So this is the graphics for the new graphic, the one after the last 1000. And then if I change the scene to the fields, it's gonna break. Breaking in 5, 4. Nope. Actually, it's working quite okay. I think some of the colors are not. I am assigning some of maybe. Yes, I'm using dupli objects, and here I'm assigning it to the object. And look at this beautiful. Hey developers, why do I have two? That's a very interesting effect. No, actually everything is pretty much working. The animation of course is not working. Some of the animation is working. The clouds are moving. Yeah. But for some reason these one are not, because yes, because they are duplis. Also the roads are actually they have an array. They're objects with an array, so that's why they don't work either. And the clouds, actually the clouds should look like something because they have transparency. Oh, but the object doesn't have transparency, so if I do alpha blend and I mix it, yeah, that works. Alpha blending. Then the text is not, no, that's not gonna work. The text is applied, no, it's not, nope, it's not working. But the rocket is working. The image in the background is working. The water is sort of working. Yep, but I missed my modifiers. Is there a way to get your Blender theme? Yes. In the user preferences settings, user preferences, you can find themes, and you will find it's called Flatty Light. Flatty, como flat, Flatty Light. And I'm working now on a Flatty Dark, which is a work in progress, but it's for those who like to work at night or like just dark UIs in general. I think I'm gonna wrap this up for now. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Blender Today Live. There was like one thing to share. There will be more coming soon. There is a code quest that it's starting already in a bit more than a month. That should be pretty exciting. There is a 279A that is coming up this week now, and there is some cool stuff regarding Grease Pencil that is starting. Sound is turning off randomly. Oh, okay, I hope it gets solved. But yeah, there's some cool stuff that is coming for Grease Pencil, so maybe we can talk about that next week. Also, I wanted to this is maybe not Blender news itself, I might do it on my own, but there is an animation that I made 10 years ago. In March 2nd it's gonna be 10 years ago, so I'm thinking I'm gonna try to update to the, it's an animation that I made in moves to space. Okay, Blender maybe. Yes. Okay, this is uploaded by someone else, but it is this animation. So basically it's a very simple shader that, yeah, it's a little animation that I made some time ago, and I found the file. I have the file, but in Blender 2.8 it has a few problems opening, so I might just use the regular Blender, and yeah, I'm not gonna go into it because I'm gonna start working on it and then I'm not gonna stop. So I'll see you again next week. Thank you for hanging out here with me. If you like this kind of content, subscribe. I try to do it every week at the same time, same channel, same everything. So that's all, and I will see you again eventually next week at the same time. So bye bye, and stick around. Leave a comment if you would like this kind of stuff or what you would like to see next week. So that's it. Oh wait, no, yes, I wanted I saw someone starting live streams recently before leaving. It's the Mantisa, is Mitch, on YouTube, on his YouTube channel. I wanted to continue watching it, but I only watched like the first 10 minutes and then I had to go to bed. It's amazing. He opens one of his awesome projects, like in this case this one. He has in his Instagram, it's called the__Mantisa with 2 double S. He opens up Lenfa. He makes this weird stuff, which is pretty awesome, and then he just explains how to do it in a live stream, and it goes from scratch all the way till the end. It's like a 2-hour live stream, but I think if you skip to the parts where you want, like the modeling, the setting up, or the shaders, it's worth checking it out. Yes, I almost forget, I wanted to continue watching it. I actually started watching it this morning before going to work, and it's a good thing I didn't get sidetracked with this. It's pretty awesome, so check it out. subscribe to the Mantisa. He's posting awesome stuff, tutorials, all kinds of things. He also has a training on the Blender Cloud about motion graphics, which is totally unrelated, but it's also a great resource. So okay, that's it for now. I will see you again next week, same time, same channel, same everything. And that's it. Shall we? Yeah, let's do the guild thing, otherwise it's not gonna be the same. And 1, 2, and yes. If the sound was chopping, it will make it unchop. I will see you again next week. Bye bye. Ciao.